I don't know where we go from here. If you can't do it, who can do it? I mean, is that why people call senators? Do they do it? I don't know.
Hi guys, welcome to Go See Gail. I'm going to talk about what everybody talked about today, which was Alex Padilla, the senator in Los Angeles that nobody knows or ever heard of until this happened today. At least I didn't know who he was. A lot of people on social media are outraged. You know, the people on the left, they're just outraged about it. Like, how dare they handcuff a senator? Well, it's because he bum rushed a stage and didn't wait his turn to speak and acted like a fool. He acted like a childish little girl, like not getting his way. And he's like, I'm a senator. Do you not know who I am? I mean, who cares? It's like nobody's above the law. You can't bum rush a stage when a political official is up there talking on behalf of the country and like telling everybody what's going on and what's going to happen. You just can't do that. It's just insane. And the thing that's so outrageous about it is how they say, you know, for the past like 5 days, there hasn't been violence. They're like, there's nothing to see here. There's no Molotov cocktails. There's no Waymos on fire. People aren't burning American flags in the streets. People aren't throwing rocks and big clumps of concrete at cars. People aren't looting. Like, that is outrageous, right? Like, that's outrageous. But coddling a senator to the ground and putting him in handcuffs so that he chills the hell out and gets ready to talk like a decent human being, that's outrageous, right? It's just insane. Let's see what the Five has to say.
Anti-ICE insanity erupting in 21 cities and a Kristi Noem presser. A shocking scene in Los Angeles as California Democratic Senator Alex Padilla barged his way into DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's news conference on the LA riots, only to be forcefully removed and handcuffed while on the floor. Watch.
Hands up, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your
I also want to
hands off.
How many of our ICE agents have been docked?
On the ground. On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let me get in my hands, go ahead, put me behind my back.
All right, cool. Other hand.
Didn't it look to you guys like somebody told him to go do that? They're like, you got to do something. You got to look like you're fighting. It just looks like staged. And I feel like in the moment he realized he did something really dumb. You know, he's like, they're going to talk so badly about me and nobody knows who I am. It's like, we all know who you are now, but now we all think you're stupid. Oh, they always make such bad moves. It just must be so embarrassing to support this political party.
Lay flat. Other hand, sir. Other hand.
Well, Senator Padilla and Secretary Noem met afterwards for 15 minutes. They swapped phone numbers, and it was cordial and beneficial. Here's what they had to say.
She sounded like she sounded like she was bullshitting there.
This is how this administration responds to a senator with a question.
Don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? I am a senator. Yeah, you're supposed to wait your turn like an adult. That's what adults do. When you're listening to someone give a speech, whether you want to hear it or not, you wait your turn and then you ask questions like an adult. Are we 5 years old? Are we 5 years old, Alex Padilla? Jeez.
This is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question.
Yep.
You can only imagine what they're doing to
the outrage,
to cooks, to day laborers.
If he had requested a meeting, I would have loved to have sat down and had a conversation with him. That coming into a press conference like this is political theater.
And Padilla wasn't the only showboating Democrat today. Blue State Governors Tim Walz, J.B. Pritzker, and Kathy Hochul were on Capitol Hill as Republicans hammered their state sanctuary policies and refusal to deport dangerous illegals.
He found a sleeping woman on the subway, lit her on fire, and burned her alive. This is in Kathy Hochul's New York.
These crimes are horrific.
Because of your sanctuary state policies.
I don't know how many hearings we gonna have about the fact that there's been this one immigrant that killed this one person.
One too many. That's one too many, lady.
Needs. And you're ripping our loved ones away from us because you don't have the courage to fix our broken immigration system.
What? Like, what? They don't have the courage to fix a broken immigration system? That's exactly what they're doing right now. That's exactly what they're doing right now. They are fixing the broken immigration system because it certainly is broken. When Trump was president, he had a pretty solid border. Do you guys remember? It's pretty good. I mean, a lot of people slip through the cracks, but not like when you have a president with the auto pen that just goes boop and the floodgates, open, wide open. And millions and millions and millions of undocumented illegal aliens pour into the country, right? That's a broken immigration system. That's just mind-bogglingly, terrifyingly terrible. It's just amazing that this lady, I can't remember what her name is, Rashida Tlaib. It's amazing that she could say that this is Trump's fault. Okay, that's rich.
All right, Greg Gutfeld, I want to go to Senator Padilla. The DHS called it theater, right? They said that he didn't identify himself. He had no senator pin. He forcefully lunged. Would you describe this as a stunt by the senator?
I don't know. Do we have to keep reminding Democrats that Trump was nearly killed 11 months ago? Mm-hmm. It was a fraction of an inch away from death. And it's like they still don't take that seriously. They spent more.
I love that he was shot at, twice? He was shot at twice. And they think this is outrageous. This coddling Alex Padilla to the ground because he's acting like a big baby. Trump was shot at twice and nobody gives a crap about that.
I'm on Elon Musk's salute. Remember that? So this douche thinks he can plow in after his party spent, I don't know how many years demonizing Trump and by extension supporters and his cabinet. You don't know what security's going to do. He was lucky he wasn't flattened. And if they had acted differently, who knows what would have happened? I don't know who that guy is. Maybe they didn't know who that guy was. If they didn't act correctly, they could have lost their...
Nobody knew who that guy was. That's the thing. I think that's what hurt him the most. I think this was his big moment to let the world know who he is. And I think in the moment, I just feel that's why his voice was cracking, because he was like, this is just not the way I wanted to be introduced to the world. Even though a lot of people probably know who he is, now they do. And I think a lot of people think he's an idiot, and I think that's why he wanted to cry. He was like, this is just not the way I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be heroic, and he just wasn't.
But Padilla showed...
This is just because I did comedy for 9 years. When he calls him Padilla, it's just like... I live in Los Angeles, so it's like Padilla, It's like, and I know people with that last name, which kind of scares me because I have a feeling that some people that I know are related to Alex Padilla, and so it could be her nephew or cousin or second cousin, third cousin, fourth cousin.
Why you need order and grown-ups. This is a microcosm. Some guy bursts into a presser, shouting, expects to be treated preferentially. He expected his invasion to be allowed. What does that sound like? Their policy with illegal criminals. He just represented that. You will see that video more than you will see the riots that the media denies. It'll be all over the place, which means we should treat it just the way the legacy media treats the riots. That was basically a mostly peaceful hug, And by the way, whatever he was saying, Gavin Newsom tweets, if you handcuff a U.S. senator, what will they do to citizens? Dude, I would assume the same thing, because according to you idiots, no one is above the law. Then can I just touch on the hearings? Watching Stefanik eviscerate Hochul, this is where responsibility meets virtue signaling. And for so long, it required no responsibility. All you had to say was sanctuary city because you didn't have to live it. Now, people lived it. Hochul had no defense at all because she had no defense. What are you going to say? I didn't have a sanctuary city. How can the Dems not see that their policies and their beliefs made Trump's presidency inevitable? MAGA didn't just elect Trump, Democrats did.
By the way, Senator Padilla was supposed to play first base at the congressional baseball.
The Padilla part, what the joke that I was thinking of? I was thinking of that movie Napoleon Dynamite when she's like, make yourself a dang quesadilla. Because he's like, Padilla? Anyway.
But then he flew back to LA to do this. And as everyone's Central Park Softball League resident catcher, you don't abandon your post, all right? You don't abandon your position.
First base.
All right, Jesse, the media coverage over the hearings today called it devolved over the treatment of immigrants. But isn't the point that it's actually about the treatment of laws, i.e. ignoring them, and the treatment of law enforcement, i.e. blatant obstruction and assaulting them, and the treatment of citizens, i.e. deprioritizing them and putting them in danger? Like, as always, the media totally misses the point.
Yeah, the hearings didn't go well today for the Democrats. It's just a bad day for the Democrats. They just are such a bad party. I'm not even taking them seriously anymore. Real men do not let their emotions...
What happened to Jesse's hair? He usually has a lot of product in his hair. Maybe he had like a quick shebangalang when he had lunch on today. I guess that was today, right? He looks like he needs some little gel in his hair.
Take over them, okay? This is what Code Pink does, Jessica. They run and they scream and they cause a scene. Real men don't almost cry at a press conference when they just bum rushed a woman. And Greg's right. He didn't seem like a senator. He seemed like a crazy man impersonating a senator. No one knows who Alex Padilla is. Is his name Alex? No one knows who this guy is. He's not Fetterman. He's not Lindsey Graham. No one recognized him. Oh, it's the junior senator from California. Let's make way. He's a nobody. He's a no-name. And these police officers didn't know who he was because he wasn't even wearing his little Senate badge. He wasn't in a suit. This was a stunt. Some would call it gonzo journalism. Some would say I pulled similar stunts for The Factor. And I did, because I was a stupid producer, not a senator. These guys are supposed to move the masses with eloquent words and great uplifting speeches, or they could legislate and they could make it illegal to break into the country. So why don't they just do that and drop the nonsense? This guy is doing it because his base is furious that they don't look like they're doing anything. So he has to show the base he's
That is so true. That's the thing. That's the thing. He's trying to make a name for himself and show that he's fighting for these immigrants, but he's looking so stupid and he realizes it. He knows he made a mistake. That's what I think. This is just my gut. You know what I mean? A lot of people just say the same kind of stuff out there. You're going to get a different take from me. You're going to get like weird little quips, and I'm going to make fun of goofy stuff, and I'm going to make fun of the fact that, Jesse Waters doesn't have enough hair gel in his hair. Maybe it's because he, saw his wife at lunch, and they got sweaty. Who knows? But that's kind of goofy stuff I'm going to talk about. What I want to wrap up with is I wrote something on social media today. I don't really do stuff on X or on Instagram because I use those for different things. Facebook is my old lady place where I just kind of act like an old lady and I write stuff just to, test the waters and see what people are thinking. And it's a place to vent. And that's what I did today regarding this senator situation. I'm going to read it to you guys. And because here in California, things are touchy. People are emotional. People are upset. And then if you want this, if you lean more independent or Republican, people think you're racist or a terrible person or you have no heart. And it's just not true. We were invaded in 2020, 2021. I'm going to read you what I wrote today. And I hope it's not too long, and I hope I can get to the point quickly. I mean, it's long, but it's not too long. Just hang in there. You'll like it, probably, or you'll hate it. Depends on what side you're on. Okay, today, the senator bum rushed the stage like an over-emotional little girl. He did not wait his turn to speak or ask a question like a civilized human being. If anybody bum rushed him while he was speaking, I'm sure that would have never happened. America isn't falling for it. It's political BS theater. In 2020, we really did have an invasion. Millions and millions and millions and millions of people cross the border illegally. 47, that's Trump, made a promise to do the biggest mass deportation that has ever been seen in our country, and he's making good on those promises. It's not pretty. I don't agree with all of it and all the ways he's doing it, but something had to be done. Drastic measures had to be taken. If things don't change, people are going to continue to pour into our country. The Biden administration lied and made these people think that they're going to be able to get all the freebies and get all the jobs. He didn't lie when he promised that our taxpayer money would be paying for their health care, their child care, and a lot of the times their housing and their food. And this is all to get votes because they're not trying to change the law so that you don't even need to have ID. I can't believe people can't see what's happening. This is all to maintain political power, and it's destroying California, and it's destroying the country. We need to wake up. And this little section is more about Los Angeles. There's an app that we have in West LA. It's called Nextdoor app. And so basically I say, do you guys ever get on the Nextdoor app and see how much crime is flowing around Los Angeles every night, even in the decent neighborhoods? It wasn't like that 20 years ago. You know, I've been here. You know, people are getting their catalytic converters stolen, their puppies, their packages. People are breaking into people's cars, their garages, stealing their bikes, stealing their cars. And then people are just getting punched in the face for no reason by random psychopaths. It's just getting crazy. And I'm glad I live on the second floor. Okay, back to the thing. Okay, so do we want this country? Do we want this once great country to turn into a muddy, poor, socialist, third world country? The Dems are losing power for that very reason, but they want that. But not the bulk of this country. The bulk of this country doesn't want this. So here's the deal with illegals. And I'm friends with some people that are illegal. But they're the kind that have been here for like 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And they've just kind of made it work. If you've been illegal and you've been working the system for 30, 40, 50 years, I suggest you get someone to get your groceries for you. I suggest you lay low until things die down. I suggest you start trying to learn the language. That would be great. Learn the language and, assimilate if you haven't done so in 30 or 40 years. Being illegal in this country is a risk, and everybody knows that. Even the people that pour into this country, they know that it's a risk. Just like drinking and driving is a risk. Just like not paying your bills is a risk. Not paying your rent is a risk. Not paying parking tickets is a risk. If you're illegal, you know that there's a chance you could be deported. So you have to face up to that fact. And you can't make all of us feel bad because you're being deported. You knew what you were getting into. And to bring kids into it, that's even more aggravating because, families are getting ripped apart, but that's because you broke the law, because if we went to any other country, it wouldn't be cool. They would have no sympathy for us. If a bunch of Americans went to other countries and pulled this shit, we wouldn't have. Nobody would care. They'd be like, "Bye, girl, bye." Okay, so I'm sorry for even the people that I love that are illegal. I want them to know, thank you for learning the language. Thank you for assimilating. I don't really believe that Trump is coming for you, but if you get caught in the crossfire, you got to act smarter. You just do. You got to lay low. This is why he's doing this. He's showing the rest of the world, Trump is showing the rest of the world that it's not going to be easy to come here. And he's sending a good message because we are at capacity, especially here in Los Angeles. We're booked. There's a lot of people here. A lot of people. And if you do notice, other countries really aren't talking badly about how Trump is handling this. They might make fun. They might create a bunch of dramatic stories, but they're not really saying a lot of bad stuff because they kind of wish they could do it too. They wish they had the balls to do it the way he's doing it, but they don't. Drive around LA in 3:30. What used to take 15 minutes, like errands that used to take 15, 20 minutes, takes 90 minutes to do now because there's so many people. It's ridiculous. We're fully booked. So that's my stance on it. It is hard, and I'm not 100% on board with everything he's doing, but something drastic has to be done or this country is going to turn into a third world sheet hole. All right. My name is Gail Gramlich. This is Go See Gail. You should subscribe to this channel. I'm working on this by myself today. I don't have my producer. I only have like 50 subscribers, but I have a producer. Isn't that fun? But he's not here today, so I'm trying to do this stuff by myself. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.
I don't know where we go from here, you know? If you can't do it, who can do it? I mean, is that why people call senators? Do they do it? I don't know.